What we need is good. What we need is good music.
No doubt, no doubt. Yo, a lot of dudes don't know, man, that you're on the West Coast now, man. I guess, a lot of cats ain't been, reading up on shit or whatever. When exactly did you take it to the left coast, man?
Well, I always was back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
Ever since I first came out, the diaspora between Rick Rubin and Russell Simmons splitting up and Rick coming out here. When I got my first record deal or whatever, it was out here. Rick was out here. And I used to do all my tours used to be with artists out here, and I always had a great relationship with Booyah Tribe and this and that, and Soul Assassin. So for whatever reason, I gotta say my fan base and my record sold were always higher out here, to a certain extent. I mean, than back home at the time. So it was only kind of like a natural movement or whatever to end up out here. And I tell everybody, I'm an East Coast human being, Jersey for life or whatever, but I am a West Coast artist, and I do represent that.
So when you first went out to the West Coast, like when you was really, making it like your stomping ground, after this whole situation you had, like over a decade ago with Tupac, was there any backlash from any people maybe you saw on the street or anything? Like, how'd that whole thing work out?
Absolutely not. I mean, the amount of love I got in Los Angeles has always been, imagine, do you think, would I have been banging over here like this, When I say banging, I mean moving. Would I have been over here like that if that was the case? No, man. It's like always got red carpet treatment for being such a real individual and for never bowing down to anybody. They out here on the West Coast, they really, really respect that. You know what I mean? Like, they always salute her like a soldier. Like, yo, that Puerto Rican cat right there. Like, yo, he ain't scared of nobody. Like, you know what I mean?
No doubt.
Like, he'll live or die for what he stands for, and people just always recognize that. And it's a heavy Latin thing over here. You know what I mean? Brown rolls deep, homie. Brown rolls deep, and I just happen to be that, and so it always was like, we got you. So, never an issue.
So, let's keep talking more back then. Did when all that happened, did you guys actually ever bump into each other, been in the same venue? I mean, just cross paths when all that was going down?
Yeah, I believe I've spoke about that on many occasions. Like, people could do their research and talk about that.
Okay.
It's kind of like a subject I don't really want to talk about all the time. I'll just say this: we were dot your I's and cross your T's 100 when the man passed. And that is, that's why I can feel at peace with it. That's why, like the Outlaws are from New Jersey, and we always, ran in the same circles or whatever. I mean, do you think I never had to talk to them? Do you think that we never had dialogue? As real as like, as real as Noble is and real as Napoleon is, like, I had to talk to them. So, when we talked about it and everything, it was 100 because, I went about it like a man does. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
And it just, come on, man, I was a kid. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And I just wanted to rhyme, and, shit just got blown out of proportion, and it was never intended to be what people perceived that it was, and it was never quite what people perceived that it was or wished that it would be. Do you know what I mean? I was a lyricist then and a real nigga, and I'm a real nigga and a lyricist now, and that'll never change. And, I was a fan, I was a fan and am a fan of his, and will always be, just like we all are, so.
Yeah. Yo, you know what I remember, dog? I think it was the, what was it, the Rolanda show? It was like, you know what I'm talking about, right? You was on there after he passed, and I think it was you, Boot Camp, just mad people chopping it up. Was that Rolanda show?
Yeah, you got a good memory, son.
Yeah, dog, I remember that shit, man. I remember you was saying, that, because a lot of people back then, they was taking everything literal, you know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of people thought, like, it was really just like an all-out war, but, I think it was real that, you came out during that time and you even said that you was a fan of dude's music and, how you respect him and all that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I hear from so many sources that it was mutual.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? I mean, there was no denying that he thought that I was nice. He might not have liked some of the shit that I might have said or whatever that is, but he never said I was whack, and he's been known to say that people were whack. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
And so, it's a part of my history, and I think Felly Fell said it the best. Somebody was asking him a question one time, and he said, "Do you know probably how tight Chino and Pac would be if he was still alive at this point in both of their lives.
Right.
And you know, maybe tight might be a bit of an exaggeration, but I'm sure by now we would have probably worked together. You know what I mean? I mean, come on, there's no way that he was ever going to stop, and I'm damn sure not going to stop until the sun burns out. God bless me with a gift, and I can't shut it down.
Yo, you've been in the game for a minute, dog. It's been, you know, it's definitely over a decade. You know, doing as much as you've done, what could you say at this point right now is like your ultimate goal?
My ultimate goal is to solidify my place in history without a doubt. When I speak to people like yourself or whatever that are very knowledgeable in this music that we all love, you know, you know, they always mention, you know, when we put out these lists for our websites or our magazines or whatever it is, your name comes out for a whole lot as being in top 5. And, you know, for a person that hasn't had so many releases or hasn't had that much of a commercial success, you know, it's amazing that, you know, people could pick apart the body of work that you have and just put you in the caliber with people that have had so much of a commercial success. You know what I mean?
Right.
So really, that's really just my aim, is to solidify my place in history so my babies or my loved ones or, you know what I'm saying, the mi gente and all of that could be like, yo, that nigga Chino XL is, you know, top 5 dead or alive. Fuck that. You know what I mean? Like, the niggas that, you know, have wrote for me and have argued and try to get people to really, really listen and whatever, you know, they're going to be able to go to sleep at night and know that I didn't let them down. Like, yo, Chino grinded until where we put him at was self-evident to anybody who ever loved the music.
Right.
So that's really where my goal is now, just to put myself in, to solidify my place in history. So, you know, anybody with the last name Barbosa that's related to me can say, yo, yes, the Chino XL, yeah, that's my brethren. You know what I'm saying?
That's a goal right there that keep you motivated every morning. You know what I'm saying?